Gelato isn't vegan?
Milk and eggs, bitch. And welcome to another video that we're doing. We decided to make this one a co-video, or I guess it's not even really a co-video.
It's a holiday special.
Yeah, and
because if I had a holiday special for my birthday,
then I get one too.
Yes.
And it's my birthday, and for my birthday, I have picked Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So, yeah, we have plenty of Scott Pilgrim shit in this house, so why not try and put a few things in the background?
I'll be fair, at least the DVD's mine. I brought that from home.
I have the DVD too, though.
Yeah, but do you have it in the case?
No.
That's actually a Blockbuster case.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's that little eggshell thing that, still cracks open. Like, listen to this.
Right now, there's a bunch of millennials that are like, what the fuck was that?
And on the bottom, I mean, you can't really see it.
Ooh, rental.
It says rental. Because that's, like when Blockbuster was done renting something, they would put all the things that they've got too many copies of for sale. And my brother used to go in and just buy
it in mass?
Buy movies in mass and just be like, never heard of this movie, or just been like, that one in particular he bought. So I've got a couple of those from his collection.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's got special features on it. When you're like, I want to watch the special features, it's like, not on the rental. I'm like, God damn it.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks. Wait, so you can't watch the special features on that at all?
That's correct.
What the fuck?
I know, right? But I at least own the movie.
Okay, well.
And it's old Blockbuster.
As soon as you were like special features, I was like, oh God, I think I've seen those. We need to watch it. But okay, well, the hazards of buying stuff from fucking Blockbuster, I guess.
Well, it's the hazards that you don't have to worry about anymore.
That's true, unless you live in that one state that has that one last Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of just a monument to.
People still go there and rent, but then you also have the people that just go and show up and take pictures. They did a documentary on them that I watched.
John Oliver did some stuff on it just recently, like donated some stuff and raised awareness that one store still existed. So, but anyways, welcome.
So, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is the part where we're going to give our ratings. So you, the watcher, if you've got a busy life, you don't have to sit and watch the whole video.
Or if you're worried about us talking in depth about the movie, you don't have to like skip through a bunch of stuff and then find at the very end where we give our rating and decide from there. We'll give it to you at the forefront, then we'll just talk about the movie.
So our ratings, we're going to try and guess each other's rating, and then we're going into spoilers. We say this every video.
But it's always someone's first video.
Eventually. All right, so Nick.
Yes.
On a scale from 0 being the worst and 10 being the best and 5 being right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
What would you give Scott Pilgrim?
I think I give this one a 7.
God damn it.
Oh, you went off again?
I fucking went one up because I thought, okay, I picked 7 and then I started talking and I was like, you know what? You always underestimate it, so I'm going to go 1 higher. Okay, well, there is no system of guessing the movies for Nick. Damn it.
You played yourself.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, then the next week I'm going to be like, I'll just go with what your gut, and I'm going to be 1 under again. So, yeah. What?
It's okay, buddy. It's not that big a deal. We're just having fun.
I know, but still, it's just like every week. It's just, I don't know. One of these videos, you're going to be like, I'll give this movie a blah. And I'll be like, boom, bitch! Like, knock the fucking mic off the thing. Flip it. And the rest of the video is just going to be the camera aimed at the ceiling and me stomping around the house being like, the boy's back!
It's going to be pointing at the ceiling. You're going to see you run by and doing your victory lap.
The boy is back! It's going to be like 20 minutes of that. Just me knocking shit off shelves. All right.
Actually, no, in retrospect. No.
All right.
So, Lance, what would you give it on a scale from 0 to 10?
So on a scale from 0 to 10, I would give Scott Pilgrim a 10.
Oh, okay. I was close.
This is, to me, a perfect movie. I like the comics, or the mangas. If you could call them mangas, I'm not sure. I liked the mangas. I loved the movie, and it's got. To me, it's one of the perfect formulas. It's one of those movies that I can literally watch from beginning to end, and there's no boring spots in it for me. I love the entire movie. And it's, like I said, it's the perfect culmination for a movie for me. And it had surprises, like Michael Cera. Spoilers, beat it. Okay.
Okay.
So Michael Cera, I'm not crazy about him as an actor.
I liked him in Arrested Development, but he was playing Scott Pilgrim.
Basically, well, yeah, when he was playing Michael Cera, like my thing with Michael Cera is Michael Cera and everything he plays. I've only seen him in 2 movies that I feel like he got away from that, and well, 3. Scott Pilgrim, because he's still Michael Cera, but like to me, he's got a little bit more energy. There's a movie called, I think it was Molly's Game.
No, I've not seen that one.
It's like a poker game, and he's like playing basically. It was based on real life events, and he's playing kind of like a dumbass that is believed to be, for some reason I'm blanking on his name right now, Tobey Maguire. So apparently, like Matt Damon and Tobey Maguire were like doing this poker scene for a while, and it was believed that Tobey Maguire was like a huge fucking douche, and like I think he basically ruined this girl's. She was like an Olympiad that hurt herself, and she started like learning about the underworld of poker and stuff like that. But anyways,
Yeah.
but he was great in that. He was
Okay.
fantastic. In the last movie that I was, and I think it was the Seth Rogen, James Franco movie about the end of the world or whatever.
Yeah, isn't it just called The End of the World?
Yeah, and it's like, I think I see like a ton of videos on the internet where it's Michael Cera acting like a totally different person, like he's a huge douchebag and people don't like him, kind of a thing. And I know it's just like, from what I've heard, he's like a really good guy, but like he's playing like a gigantic douche, and in that movie he was basically playing that character as a gigantic douche. But it was so nice, like seeing him in this movie, and I thought he fucking rocked.
He was good. I mean, again, he was Michael Cera to me.
As well, I thought he was charming. Like to me, watching him in.
I thought he was kind of a douchebag. But I mean, that's the point.
Well, that is the point.
It's the point, is that he starts off being kind of a douchebag, like heartbroken, and then kind of heals over the course of the movie.
Well,
but you're kind of got him at the beginning being a douchebag.
Yeah, he's self-absorbed.
Yeah.
And then learns. But like that's what I love about the movie. Anyways, yeah, like it's got Edgar Wright as a director. I fucking love Edgar Wright. I bow at the fucking altar of Edgar Wright. I think he's great. And then the cast. This has got a great cast of people. But I'll stop gushing for a second. And, what? So you gave it a 7.
It's good. I mean, it's not a movie that I revisit a bunch, but I enjoy watching it. But it's not one I could throw in at any point in time. Like the music is good, but when I'm done watching the movie, I don't think about the music again. It's not until I watch the movie again I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like this song.
Yeah.
As opposed to something like Josie and the Pussycats, where I'm just kind of humming those songs to myself sometimes. So it's not music that like really grips me. It's not my style or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's good enough.
You didn't really like the Garbage Truck song? Gonna pick you up in my garbage truck.
No.
Truck.
Not really.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. I like the opening riff or whatever, and then like when the credits are playing over, I don't remember which song it is.
Oh, in the very, very beginning of the movie?
Very, very beginning. But like when they're all just kind of playing, I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then they start singing. I'm like, I'm less into it when they start singing. But like just the kind of grungy, kind of awful amp sound to it. I'm like, that sounds interesting. But
the best music in the entire movie was Crash and the Boys. This song is called So Sad. I'm so sad. And then it was over. And he's like, thank you. This is a song that we're dedicating to that guy up there. It's called We Hate You.
yeah.
Like that I don't know. That the movie is just, it's amazing to me.
It's like we're your sex bomb. We're here to make you sad and stuff.
Yeah, we're here to sell out. And we're here to sell out and for money and stuff. Yeah. So that was played by Allison Pill. She played Kim. Then you had Anna Kendrick as Stacy Pilgrim, his sister.
Yep.
Wallace Wells was played by Kieran Culkin.
Yep. Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Yep. It's for some reason he got popular and Macaulay disappeared.
Oh, Macaulay's back.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
You had Aubrey Plaza as Julie Powers.
It's Aubrey Plaza's always amazing.
Well, yeah, no, she's great in everything. So, one of the shows I was actually thinking about asking you to review with me was at least the first season of Legion, because like she was great in that first season. She was amazing.
Have you seen? Well, she's actually going to be in something we'll watch upcoming in the Child Play remake.
Oh, really?
Yep. And have you ever seen Safety Not Guaranteed?
No.
So do you remember there was an old meme? It was
Newspaper clipping?
Newspaper clipping about I'm looking for someone to go back in time with me. Must be good with you. Must bring your own weapon. Safety not guaranteed.
Right.
They made a movie about that guy.
Okay.
It was a parody, but Aubrey Plaza was like the main character in it, and then you had the guy who wanted to go back in time.
Interesting.
And it's on. I think it's on Netflix. That's where I first watched it.
It's on now. It's out.
Oh yeah, it's been out for a long time.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a movie.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe I'll make you watch it one day, just because Aubrey Plaza.
But yeah, no. I mean, can you name one thing that she was bad in? There's got to be something.
That she was bad in?
Yes.
No.
She was.
I mean, she was in like Bad Grandpa or something like that. Something weird like that I've never seen. And I don't think that movie was talked up per se. Like, but she wanted to like bang De Niro.
She was bad in.
But I don't know.
Parks and Rec.
No, she wasn't.
You're right. She wasn't. She
was one of the best parts.
She's Jim. So Dirty Grandpa.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I've heard the movie was bad. I don't know if that's has anything to do with her because I've not seen it.
There's a lot of movies here I have not seen.
Yeah, I've not seen a bunch of stuff with her.
Like she's got she's in Crank Anchors? Really? Okay. Legion, she was amazing. Child's Play I have not seen yet. Okay, well, she's apparently she's been around for a while because she's got a lot of stuff underneath her belt.
Yeah. Parks and Rec is old now.
I mean, I don't think Parks and Rec is what I got introduced to her, but
that's for me.
But so Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona, I love Mary Elizabeth.
I know her from some stuff, but I don't remember what.
So I'll tell you what you know her from.
Sure.
So she was in 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know if you saw that one. She was in Death Proof.
No.
Let's see. I don't think you watched Fargo.
No.
There's something that's like right in the back of my mind that she was pretty big in, and for some reason I'm blanking on. She was in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Okay.
As Mary Dodd.
I don't remember that movie. I watched it once.
I watched it 2 times. She was in the remake of The Thing.
Okay.
The prequel,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. It's still called The Thing, but it was a prequel.
Yeah. She was also in Live Free, Die Hard.
I don't know if I saw that one.
As John McClane's daughter.
But apparently only in the gag reel. No, okay, there's 2 credits.
Yeah, there's 2 credits.
I like how the gag reel has a higher rating than the movie itself.
that movie will definitely make you gag. She's most notably in Sky High.
Okay.
As I think it was Royal Flush.
I've not seen it. It's a movie or a show?
Oh, it's a movie.
Okay.
You haven't seen this movie?
No.
Okay, well then I'm gonna let Amber challenge you to have you seen because she loves this fucking movie, and to be honest with you, I like it too. It's another one of those that has like a who's who cast.
Okay.
So anyways, sorry. Small tangent there.
Yes.
So Jason Schwartzman as Gideon Graves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Mark Webber as Stephen Stills. Ellen Wong as Knives Chow, and I loved her.
She was really good.
Yeah, she was brilliant. Let's see. And like we're going to start getting into some other
just a bunch of Marvel and DC heroes.
Yeah. So you had I'm blank. So Chris Evans was Lucas Lee.
Yeah,
I loved him. I thought he was so funny. Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
yeah, he was so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I don't know this guy. I don't know what his background is, but I have to mention him just because I thought he was a great. He was crashing the boys. His name is Eric Knudsen.
Probably Knudsen.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been in a lot. Just looking real quick, there's a lot of movies that I automatically recognize, so I'm gonna have to go back. Brie Larson was in Brie Adams.
Yep.
I know a lot of people don't like Brie Adams, but she was great in this movie. Mae Whitman was Roxy Richter.
And she was in Arrested Development as Michael Cera's girlfriend. And
so
or Egg.
I'll go ahead and say it.
She's also Katara.
Well, so you're the one that brought that to my attention.
It's on one of these things. I don't remember which one episode.
Right. I love this woman. She's on my hall pass list.
Okay.
If Amber was like, you could sleep with somebody other than myself, I don't know if I would sleep with her per se, or as I just sit down and pick her brain, because I think she's an amazing actress and she's a very good voice talent. But like, I love Katara. I love Roxy Richter. I thought she was just one of the best parts of that entire movie. She's so good. Sorry, I'll stop gushing on her. Brandon Routh was Todd Ingram. He's another amazing part in that movie.
He was super, man.
Yeah, well, okay, stop it. Bill Hader was the narrator. He was the voice that was narrating the movie. You know that?
I don't remember the narrator.
Meanwhile, somewhere in Canada.
Yeah,
or like whenever it was like Scott Scott got a haircut. It was great. It was brutal. He loved it. He didn't. But it was.
I don't even remember a narrator.
Oh, interesting. So you had Clifton Collins Jr. and Thomas Jane as the vegan police.
Yeah. He was very punishing to Superman.
Yes, he was. Is this what we're doing?
That's what I'm doing.
Let's see. That might be all of it. There are quite a few more people on the list, but it's names that I know it's faces I know in passing, not names. Anyways, to me, the movie is brilliant from beginning to end. All the way from the 16-bit opening of the Universal logo.
I do like that one.
To all the way to the end of it, where you basically have like the Scott Pilgrim like side scroller fighting scene of him beating up the end at the very, very end of the credits. Did you stay to the end of the credits?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So I might have to run that for you tonight before you go. But yeah, the flick to me is just it's cinematic perfection. It's a true testament on how to make eye candy from beginning to end. And I know I'm putting a lot of praise on this movie, but because I mean honestly, my three movies that I was gonna say for my birthday.
One of them was Transformers.
Yes.
The animated movie, not the Michael Bay one.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would let that go, and people would be like,
Transformers.
You like explosions, eh? But and the other one is Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
Which is another one of my favorite movies of all time. But I didn't know if I wanted to open with that one, and I really wanted to talk about Scott Pilgrim for a while. So
yeah, I mean, we brought it up a couple times, but there's not been. I've already seen it. I mean, I own it. So it would have just been. It's not really streaming anywhere either, I think. So that we couldn't have really just done a random ASCO video about it either.
Yeah, I think that movie kind of got stuck in a weird place in litigation because, like, there's a game that came out, like a side scroller. I think that came out and like that.
I think I've seen it. I've not played it, but I've seen it.
So I have it now. It disappeared, and it was shelved, and it was basically going to be shelved indefinitely, never to see the light of day again. And then suddenly it was just on the Switch one day. So apparently they got it out of whatever litigation hell it was tied up in. And then the movie, I think I could be wrong about this, but I remember hearing a story not too terribly long ago where like the creator of Scott Pilgrim. He had a problem with some of the stuff that was coming out. I don't think he ever had a problem with the movie per se, but I do remember it like disappearing for a while and then it came back. Not the movie, the game. I'll have to look into that, but yeah, I think you can find like I watched it on Plex, so.
As I said.
Yeah. Well, I own it too, but like
breaking up the DVD and all that kind of fun stuff. And
it was one thing when I had like a shelf full of DVDs, but now it's like to save space, and because my son now will go to the DVD shelf and just go and knock all of it onto the floor. So Amber and I put them all in wallets. And I've got this gigantic 100 disc wallet down there that's like that. It's the size of a fucking Big Mac, or at least tall as one.
It's taller than a Big Mac.
Yeah, well,
Because you get a Big Mac that's been squished.
Well, I was talking about like the one you see like in the advertisements.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm hungry.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, I don't even like Big Macs.
It's tall like a Big Mac.
It's
It's salty like fresh fries and.
There's a 24 hours McDonald's like right around the corner. You want to run up there real quick?
No.
We'll be right back.
I've not eaten McDonald's in years.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
I don't want to eat McDonald's. Is what's wrong with me.
Apparently, you want to spend more time on this planet than necessary. You have to eat more McDonald's, bro. But
get the shit over quicker. Have some McDonald's. Their new slogan. I think the last time I went, I was sitting around one day and I'm like, I want a McFlurry, and I went and had a McFlurry, and then that was 2018, 2017.
Oh wow!
And the last time I had it before then was 2010, earlier.
You can really space that shit out, don't you?
I don't crave McDonald's.
Well, I mean, there's not really a lot to love about them. Their burgers are basic bitch.
Yeah.
Their fries.
I'd hate their fries.
Yeah, their fries aren't. I mean, I like them, but like if you get them warm, they're okay.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think the people who like make them are afraid of putting salt on them because they're always like no salt. They're usually like lukewarm to cold.
Yeah, and some people really love soggy fries. I hate soggy fries. I like thick cut, like steak fries or like the crinkle cut ones that you actually got like potato in them. Not that they're soggy little sad pieces of shit, which is why I stopped going to McDonald's.
There's a place called Sesame that me and you and Amber need to go and eat at.
I don't know that one.
They make these things called potato logs.
Okay.
Oh my God, they're so good. I am seriously fucking hungry now. God
so
damn it.
where I live, there is a McDonald's, and then right next to it is a Zaxby's. And Zaxby's has good fries. Their chicken's okay depending on when you go, but the fries are fucking good.
And the Cajun seasoning.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Did we just start a food review
No,
channel?
I don't really like all that much food either.
Really?
If I could like plug myself into a wall and never have to eat again, I would do that. And I know there's a lot of people that would not fucking do that whatsoever. I'm not fat because of food. I'm fat because of sitting around and watching movies and playing video games.
I'm fat because of all of that.
No, it's when I do make food choices, it tends to be
Poor?
easy because I don't like cooking food.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, what do I want to eat? Bake. 15 minutes. Good enough.
So this is our review on Zaxby's and McDonald's. Welcome. We're calling this channel
Eaten by few.
Eaten by many, actually. Billions and billions. But yeah, no.
Seen by chew.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. We have to do this now. Holy shit, dude. No. All right, we'll be back after a few minutes. We got to set this up right now. Strike while the iron's hot, man. I'm telling you.
I don't care.
Seen by Chew. Oh my God, I love that. Anyways, I am so distracted now. Yeah, the movie is it's great.
Yeah.
Like I said, 16-bit opening, following Scott's love life and seeing how much of a douche he is, what his friends see him as.
Yeah, he's heartbroken when Captain Marvel left him.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of, I don't know, gliding through life and being kind of a bit of a douchebag when he's got there's a girl that's interested in him and she's in high school. And everyone's like, she's not your girlfriend. He's like, no, she's my girlfriend.
Her name is Knives.
Knives Chow.
Oh, she's so good.
She's good. And she's too good for him.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Well, he's immature. Like he's super immature and like very self-absorbed. But like I think that's part of the fun of the movie is watching him obliviously walk around and like his friends, they already kind of know what's going. Like Julie, Aubrey Plaza's character, she's already like, you do this, but don't date this girl. And then like he starts dating Ramon, and she's like, what the fuck did I tell you? And they're always like blurbing out her mouth.
Yeah.
It's like they already know how he's going to fuck up because apparently his character is very predictable. So it's all about, I guess, setting the scene when he's around, because he's a jackass, and then he learns the power of love and that wasn't enough. And then he got the power of self-respect.
It's not. It's you can't really truly love another person until you love yourself.
That's true. Or how do you expect other people to love you unless you love yourself?
Yeah.
So that's actually like, I know that's probably usually on posters and shit on people's houses and stuff, but that's actually fucking true.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later in our seen by feelings. Like, come on, you could do a pun with this.
And it'll take a second.
Felt by few?
No.
No. We'll workshop it later.
Yeah.
So from the video game sounds,
Like Zelda music and them opening up the chest and it's the Zelda chest and stuff like that.
yeah, like I love that. The 7 evil X's, the turn with Roxy, like I thought,
Yeah, it's the League of Seven Evil ex-boyfriends, and then Ramona's always correcting it, seven evil exes.
yeah, I went through a phase. A phase? Sorry, I said something I wasn't supposed to, so now we're gonna have to sing this. And I know I wasn't supposed to say that part either. Hey man, this is Gorilla. So when I got my job back in 2007, me and one of my coworkers, on I think it was Tuesdays, the Cinnabar used to have $5 Tuesdays.
Okay.
So, and we had a job that was fairly low impact and you could disappear for hours. So we would occasionally take lunches, go up to the Cinnabar, which was right across the bridge, and basically watch a movie. And we had on-call phones, so if something happened, they could call us on the little phone. We shot across the bridge and went and saw Scott Pilgrim. I did not know what Scott Pilgrim was at that time. It was just, it looked like a neat movie because the trailer looked cool. And it was me, let me say it the right way. It was Joe, Ray, and myself.
Okay.
And then we got a call right in the middle of the movie. And the movie was so good. I was like, I'm busy on something else right now. I'll be there as soon as I can. And went back in and finished the movie. But I walked out of that movie enchanted. I couldn't believe it. And that was not only was that my introduction to Scott Pilgrim, but it was also my introduction to Edgar Wright.
Okay.
Now I know.
I think Shaun of the Dead was out first, right?
It was.
I think I'd seen that beforehand.
Yeah.
And this came out before Hot Fuzz, or was it after?
So I think Hot Fuzz was on the tails of this. I could be wrong. I'm going to look that up now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Hot Fuzz was 2007. So I think we went to the theaters to see Hot Fuzz. So if that's out in 2010, you probably saw Hot Fuzz but didn't connect it to Edgar Wright at that point in time.
I feel like if I saw Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, I would have had to have known who the fuck he was at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. I don't always pay attention to directors.
You've got red on you. Well, the fact that it has a lot of okay, so it had Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, and it had a very samey feel to it. I think I knew that End of the World, when did that come out? Or World's End?
World's End, yeah.
That came out in 2013. So World's End came out after Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't even the Cornetto trilogy at that point.
No.
So, okay, that might be where the divide is. It's been so long ago, I don't remember.
Yeah, I do remember us going to see Hot Fuzz in the theater, because I remember afterwards, the next day or something like that, we were making characters for Spycraft that Joe was running, and I'm like, well, all I want to do is make a character that shoots 2 guns while leaping through the air.
Can you shoot 2 guns while leaping through the air? No.
And I made that character, and it was fun.
What did I play in that game?
I think you were the driver.
Was that the game that ended abruptly?
Maybe not, because that's not. I think that was the one where we went dimension hopping, and I think you ended up still being a version of Buddy.
Well,
just a newer version of Buddy.
I like playing support characters.
Yeah.
But
except Marduk.
Oh well, he was the money pit. So
he's not support.
No.
He's the damage dealer and the tank.
Yeah.
And where all the money goes.
And where all the money went until y'all basically were like, we're not dumping money in that pit anymore. And I think in the next game is when I got fucking gibbed, like instantly. It was like we keep putting money, like put stuff in Marduk's weapon. And then finally everyone was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Entropic Reapered.
But for a while, you guys just kept your money in the pool. And then Joe was like, my character wants to donate some money to the church. And Amber's like, no, we're splitting the money. You can donate your own money to the church. And then everyone started dividing the money out so he could tithe his 10% or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think they were pouring money into my weapon because I was like the meat shield. Mm-hmm. And then I think one day, finally, I think Joe was like, you know what? And fuck you guys. You didn't want to tithe some of the money to the church, so I'm not putting any more money in that weapon. And it was like, not only was that my healer saying that, but it was also like,
well, your healer should be putting money into him so he can heal you better.
That's true.
It's kind of like whenever anything bad would happen to you, like how he's unconscious and everyone else is like, oh my god, it hurts. It's like, stop putting money in Marduk.
Well, I mean, I did a pretty good job with intercepting and keeping stuff on me.
Yes, but stop putting all the money in Marduk. Because if something happens to Marduk, you guys are just going to be...
Put all the money in Marduk.
No.
So, anyways, I'd like to be one of those people that have been like, oh, well, I was fucking reading Scott Pilgrim back in the day when, like, but I've got to come clean. This is what started my obsession with Scott Pilgrim. Mm. I wouldn't so much say it's an obsession. I just really like it.
I mean, enough to buy a board game and buy a Knives Chow cereal.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the pop out of the cereal. I could have swore I had, like, another Scott Pilgrim game up here somewhere. Yeah. Well, it's somewhere. I don't know where it's at now, but anyways. But yeah, no, the movie is just, I know I'm going to probably be watching this video later and be like, why did I give it a 10? Like, surely there was stuff in this movie that I didn't like.
But I don't think 10s aren't perfect. 10s are, like, perfect for you. And this is a movie that's perfect for you.
Yeah. Well, it's just, everybody's...
A comfort movie.
Everybody's so good. Mm. And you're right, it is a comfort movie.
Well, it's even... Everyone being so good is not necessarily a requisite for me for a 10 either. Because acting is fine. I'm not an actor. I don't care about... Like, his performance was so entrancing. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm not here to watch, like, performances. I'm not going to watch The Artist or whatever the fuck and be like, oh my god, it really made me feel emotions. Like, I've got emotions and they are awful. I want to laugh at shit. And be amused and not think about how shitty life is for a little bit. So dramas tend to bounce right off me and be like, why would I want to watch someone be sad? I got that covered.
Interesting. Putting that away in the old data banks for like movies I want you to watch in the future.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm no movie aficionado. I'm no auteur myself, but I can say that like every person in this movie was a distinct and original character. Mm-hmm. Chris Evans was fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty sure at that point he had already been Johnny Blaze.
Human Torch is Johnny Storm.
Blaze is Ghost Rider. Okay, I had to say it before you did, so I can get a little bit of my credibility back. A lot of Johnnies.
He was Human Torch pretty early on, and I think when he started picking things up, Fantastic Four was like 2004.
That sounds right.
I mean, I might just be saying that because it's 4.
That was the Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Not Fant Four Stick. 2005. I was close.
Oh, okay. Well, you're one off. So.
And that's where I noticed who Chris Evans was. But then, like, you see him and you're like, oh, okay. And then, like, he's Captain America, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? That was Human Torch. And then I start recognizing him and stuff.
I can't wait for those two to meet when they do the multiverse stuff.
I hope they bring him back as Human Torch.
I hope they do too. If they don't, they're missing a huge opportunity. But it's kind of like when they missed the opportunity with when they had Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. on screen one time, and there should have been a no shit Sherlock in there somewhere, but they didn't do it.
I know Benedict Cumberbatch wouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, that. Downey would have done it.
Downey probably would have done it. I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch would have done that. He's an actor.
I know, but still, it's sometimes you got to aim for the lulls. It's Chris Evans was just so great in this movie, and I can't say enough about Roxy Richter. I just think she's fantastic. I can't remember the line, but when I think it was Scott says something like she says something. And he goes, "That was beautiful. Who said that? Or where'd that come from?" She's like, "From my brain." Like, I can't remember what the line was, but like that made me laugh so hard the first time I saw it. Her weak spot, the back of the knee, I thought that was fantastic. The way they played it, because like everybody else gets headbutted or kicked into oblivion, and she just got touched at the back of the knee, and then she basically orgasms out of existence. Dropping the coins, I thought they did that a fantastic job.
The very first one was amusing. The rest were just kind of like, now that's how they die. But like when he fights the guy, he blows up into coins. He's like, "Oh, coins!" and he bends down and starts picking some up.
Bus change. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm 35 cents short.
Yeah. Like
for the bus or whatever.
I thought the movie was just brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and gush on every little part. What I would like to say is, if you haven't seen this movie, tighten the fuck up. It's a good movie.
And people are going to put that in the comments about me. I can't believe you haven't seen Godfather. Tighten the fuck up and go watch it.
I'm just saying.
Man, you make these cuts so natural.
Hopefully, well, I mean, eventually we're going to have it in an audio medium, and it's not going to matter. But
yes,
hopefully one day they're going to do a re-release of the Scott Pilgrim movies, and they'll have a quote from me at the bottom of the poster of like all the reviewers, and it's going to say, "Lance of Nick and Lance Co-Videos fame. If you haven't seen this movie, tighten the fuck up." That's one of my goals. That's one of my life goals. I don't think it's ever going to happen,
no.
But who knows?
I mean, if you want, I could grab that. You can write "tighten the fuck up" on it.
Don't tempt me. I'll do it.
And I'm not going to let you.
And underneath that, I'll write rental. So when they go back and watch this video, they won't be able to access that part.
Yes, it's a rental only. Rental only.
But I could sit here and gush about this movie all night, but I'm not going to. I think that maybe controversial, but I believe this should be on everyone's bucket list for movies. No?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. I mean, if you don't like video games, I think this is probably going to be pretty fucking stupid to you.
Yeah, I guess the first time he like when he kills Patel.
Yeah, and he blows
up into coins. Like, people are like, "What the fuck just happened?"
And like, there's a little spinning one up, and he like grabs it, and you've got a big monkey versus a big dragon music fight. I don't think that's going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Well,
I mean, that doesn't mean that's not a bad thing. I don't think every movie needs to be everyone's cup of tea. By casting the widest net, you make the blindest product. And this is not a wide net.
That is very true. You muddy the water too much. Yeah, no, you're right. Wow, you just dropped me some knowledge on me tonight, bro.
Yeah, that's why you've got... If you watch a movie, and I think this is the thing that a lot of people get on Marvel for, is Marvel tries to get everybody to come in. And there's not really a lot of extreme, interesting stuff that happens in Marvel shows and movies.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to... This movie is just one of the gears in a much larger picture that we're trying to put on, and we can't have anything bad happen in this movie because that's going to fuck up 14 movies away from now. And
that's true.
So you just get kind of a product that's like, oh, all right.
Yeah. I guess I never really thought about it that way. I mean, I'm one of the sycophants that likes most of the stuff that Marvel puts out.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the point of it. It's meant to be like easily digestible. And I mean, I like a lot of it too. I mean, some of it's worse than others for me.
But I mean, that's a very real statement that you just made, because like, I think we pointed out a couple of videos earlier. It's like we watch those movies, like that's a really good movie, but then we don't go back and watch them again. It's like a lot of those movies are like one and dones. Now, will I go back and sit through all the movies again in chronological order? Yeah. Eventually, Amber and I started doing it, and I think we got to Iron Man 3, and I just did not like that movie.
I went back in March 2021, and watched all of the Marvel movies that had been up and out to that point in chronological order.
Including Spider-Man's?
Those were not MCU movies. I watched all the MCU movies.
They were... Well, I'm talking like Homecoming and stuff.
Yes, those ones I think only Homecoming was out. I think the Mysterio one was out. I'd watch all this. I could pull you up because I wrote it down on my freaking spreadsheet, and I could tell you which order I watched it in and stuff like that. And when I stopped, because I ran out of movies, so I started throwing in other Marvel movies, and that's when I watched the X-Men movies, and then eventually got to Dark Phoenix, and was just sad.
I liked that movie.
No.
I didn't think. Well, okay, let me change that. I didn't think it was as horrible as most people thought it was.
Name one scene in Dark Phoenix.
That was good.
Yeah.
Every scene with Kurt, Nightcrawler.
Okay.
He was awesome.
I don't remember him doing
The train scene where he was like dancing around.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I loved that part. I really liked in the beginning how she got her powers, like when the ship was shredding,
Okay.
and she was trying to like keep everything together.
So I do like it, they at least kept it cosmic, because in the other one they're kind of like, oh, she just developed these powers, man. It's done.
Yeah, and then you see like the Phoenix basically bleeds into her body. Like I really liked that scene. I thought it was good. I liked the bad guys in that movie, but I don't. If they are part of like the Marvel tapestry, I didn't know who they were.
I think they were just afraid to call them Shi'ar, so they just made them nothing.
Well, they're like plant people or something.
I don't fucking know. I barely remember that movie. I remember a couple scenes, and like I didn't like the Quicksilver scene. So all those people are fucking dead.
Yeah.
You're not snatching a person faster than an explosion happens, flipping them outside of a mansion into a net, and they're fine. No, they're going through that net.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he wasn't like fastball specialing them. Like whenever he pushed them, he'd do like a gentle push. So he was kind of like.
So you think if you got gently pushed to Mach 12 into a net, you'd be cool?
Well, I think he was just giving them just enough
Just
acceleration.
enough Mach 12 to go into a rope net, because ropes are soft.
It's Marvel, like comic book fucking physics, man.
It's silly. They made him so broken that they had to be like, he hurt his leg, and he's out of the movie now.
That speed is broken.
If you do all that shit, yes.
Yeah, Quicksilver's awesome.
Yeah.
He's still not as cool as Flash, but he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's because they take Quicksilver down a peg, and for Flash, they're just like, hey, he's DC, he can time travel and all this other silly stuff, because why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, God's on Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Now I want to talk about that. So those scenes were like the coolest parts of that movie.
I liked the Quicksilver scene in the other one, Days of Future Past.
Mm-hmm. Was that when he was getting Magnus out of jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I liked how whenever he was in the elevator and he put his hand on the back of his head, and he's like, "This keep you from getting whiplash." Like I liked that they had that attention to detail.
Yep.
And the whole kitchen scene was brilliant.
Yeah, that's good. And
However,
then I think they were trying to recreate it with the mansion, and it just didn't work for me.
So here's my nitpick about the kitchen scene. When they shot the plastic bullets at Xavier and Magnus, the part of the scene where he went and he was pushing the bullets, so they wouldn't have just kept going forward at that point. They would have been redirected to the left and right.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the one part I had. But like again, superhero physics.
Yeah.
You know. So, but like that whole scene was fucking awesome.
Yeah. And then they just left him.
Yeah.
He showed up in handy for the rest of the movie.
Well, it's like if you let him do that, he would like steal the thunder from everybody else.
He would break the movie.
Yeah. So
you have to be careful about the stuff you put in your movies, otherwise you break your universe.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you were to take, I don't know, a Star Destroyer and accelerate it to a light speed and blow up ships with it, maybe that's not a thing you want in your universe, because that might just break the shit.
We're talking about that again?
No, that's it. That's just a small thing.
The Holdo maneuver was neat looking.
It looked amazing.
Yeah.
Busted the universe.
It did, but like, well, it's a 1 in a million. That won't work.
Yeah, woo. We rolled ourselves out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, hey, JJ, he stuck the landing.
Yeah, of course. If by, stuck the landing mean belly flopped into a pond of bile.
Yeah, I would like to believe that 80% of that movie was basically JJ sitting around with people like, okay, how do we fuck up? How do we unfuck the fuck ups from the episode 8? All right, I need ideas, people. Come on, about the Holdo maneuver.
1 in a million.
Yeah, it's 1 in a million. Okay, well, you could take any ship, put it in light speed, and just destroy anything.
Yeah, just blow up the Death Star.
But it's 1 in a million.
1 in a million.
How is it 1 in a million?
Yeah. We need a villain. How about Palpatine? Okay, that's cool. But how's he gonna be back? somehow, I love it. That's it. That's going in the movie.
Yeah, how are we going to get asses in seats? We broke a lot of people with episode 8. How are we going to get those asses back in those seats? Palpatine.
Well, how are we going to explain Snoke? Palpatine made him?
Clone.
Oh, you mean literally? Okay. No, I didn't mean to say he's a clone. Vat of Snoke's. I love it.
Well, they were eventually going to get into all the clone shit more than what they did from like the Old Republic and stuff like that. I mean, it was perfected with the Old Republic, with the clone troopers. I mean, it was bound to come back around again.
Okay. You meant previous Republic, not the Old Republic. Because you say Old Republic, I think back to KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, no, I mean...
Yeah, cloning technology from...
the Clone Wars.
Camino.
Yeah. So it was bound to come back around again. So I didn't so much have a problem with that, especially when they did the whole thing with like they were walking past the vats that had like all the Snokes in it, and then like it was bad.
I hated it.
It was bad. Don't get me wrong, but like still, like it was enough for me to be like, I'll allow it.
So I don't know if I want to, because eventually we might do those movies, but I don't know if I want to. But like The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are like a 1 and a 2. Or like a 2 and a 1. They're awful movies. I hate them so much.
Rise of Skywalker was the last one?
Yes.
So that was my favorite of the 3.
Oh, wow. That's my least favorite of them.
Really?
I like The Last Jedi more than I like Force Awakens.
Last Jedi was episode 8?
Yeah.
So...
There's the Rian Johnson just kind of screw this movie.
It had stuff in it that I liked. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the whole thing where they were, like, fighting... in different places, and like so like the one dude like knocked over the berries or whatever, and then they like rolled through in her room or whatever.
Yeah, I hated that.
I know there's a lot of people who hated that, but I thought it was neat. I thought it was neat looking. I thought it was a neat idea because I mean it's
different at least.
Well, the one thing people seem to think like the Force is very linear, and it's not. It's literally it's magic. It's just straight magic.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be lightning and pushing and shit like that. So I was willing to kind of bend on some of that because you have two people who are like incredibly powerful. Rey was incredibly powerful. Kylo was incredibly powerful. I was willing to let that slide. But then like the rest of the movie was just trash. Yeah. They didn't do anything with the Knights of Ren, but we're not reviewing Star Wars, so sorry. Well,
I tried to be quick about it, and you're like, "Let's talk about it."
I know, but that's what I do. That's my thing. I get into K-holes on certain stuff, but we're gonna have to watch those movies now, so we can just talk about how bad they are.
But well, that's years away because if we do one a year for May the 4th,
yeah. Well, unless people put down in the comments that they want it out faster.
Okay, I mean, I'd acquiesce to that.
Yeah, we'll do
anything.
anything.
They're at least streaming places that they could be co-videos.
But like, I just want to say one last thing, and we'll drop it, and we'll go back to Scott Pilgrim. Or I think we're pretty much done with Scott Pilgrim. Like, I know it's a Scott Pilgrim review, and I know that people tuned in to listen to a Scott Pilgrim review. And if you're looking for a guy, two guys that are going to sit here and be like, so what you didn't know is that the actor who played like Stephen Stills was actually in this movie, which inspired this. That is not what we do here. We just basically talk about how the movie made us feel and what we liked about it.
Yeah. And then bullshit about completely unrelated stuff for half the half the review.
We should really rename it instead of like Lance and Nick co-videos or whatever. It should just be called bullshitting and maybe a little bit about the movie.
Yeah.
But
all tangents.
Yeah, just straight up inanities.
But it would be inanities, but inanities isn't ours.
That is true. It's the groups.
It's our groups.
It's our D&D group.
Yeah.
So, and now I forgot what the tangent or what I was going to say. Oh, so my wife is a lifelong diehard Star Wars girl. Episode 7 was enough to where she was like, okay,
we'll see where it goes.
I like what it is, and I remember.
Well, she said that she'll like it depending on how some of this stuff wraps up.
Right.
It's contingent. Like, let me see the rest of it first because it's chapter 1. Let me see 2 and 3.
Right. And then she saw episode 8, and she was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I went out and I bought that DVD for her. It is still sitting over there wrapped in cellophane. Like, she never cracked it open. She was just like, I'm done with Star Wars. She was a Kylo Ren fan. And then she watched that movie and was like, fuck all of it. fuck all of it. And I felt the same way, honestly. From the very beginning, where fucking Luke Skywalker just throws the lightsaber over his shoulder, I already knew I was going to hate this movie. And then they didn't even have the common decency to like harken back to like Luke pulling the fucking X-wing out of the water.
Yeah.
Like when it was down there, I was like, obviously it's a setup for that.
Yeah, that never happened.
And it didn't even happen.
It happened off screen in the next movie.
Well, I mean, I can't even remember if that was like, was that set up in...
Ray flew it to go to Exegol or whatever the fuck. But you don't see her pull it out or anything like that.
It's like, it was right there.
Yeah, and they didn't do it. And you know what else Star Wars fans wanted?
What?
Han, Luke, Leia, and Chewie, like all together again.
Well, I mean...
Now they're all dead. They get to be together and
in Valhalla.
Enforce visions.
They didn't kill Chewie.
No, that Chewie's okay, but...
He finally got his medal.
The people were clamoring for it.
And I think that's where those movies went wrong. I think that we'll talk about it when we fucking do the reviews. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with...
Hey, it's a bonus episode.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, if you haven't seen this movie, go see it. It's good. If you don't like Michael Cera, just watch the fucking movie anyways. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a person where you've watched like Arrested Development, you're like, I fucking hate Michael Cera. I don't think this is going to change your mind. But, or like, he was in Superbad, right? That was him in Jonah Hill.
Yes.
Again, I think if you hate that character and you hate Michael Cera, I don't think this is going to change your mind. But I think there's enough about the movie that even if you hate Michael Cera, because that seems to be one of the big sticking points for some people. Like, I'm not going to watch a Michael Cera movie. It's fine.
Well, Amber's never sat through this entire movie in one sitting. She's pretty much watched the entire movie in pieces, because I watch it a lot. If it's on TV, I'll just watch it. And every now and then I like to pop it on and just watch it, because it's like one of those movies that makes me feel good while I'm doing other stuff to just kind of listen to. Because 9 times out of 10, I have to sit there and watch the movie. That movie I've seen so many times ad nauseum, where I could just literally put it in the background and I could just play it in my mental theater while I'm doing other things. Yeah, it's just, I agree with you. Like, that's the reason she won't sit and watch the entire movie in one sitting, is she does not like Michael Cera.
I think there's enough other fun characters kind of going around. Like, I like watching... it's like Knives and Scott, like when they're doing like the DDR thing, and they're just like talking casually but so like in sync. I think that's amusing. And then when he's like hooked up on Ramona, they're doing it again and she's into it and doing perfect, but he's just like bad, awful.
Oh, terrible. Yeah,
it's just kind of commentary on like what the fuck he's doing too.
Yeah, they're falling out of sync.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I really loved about the movie, is that even in the small moments, it was still kind of showing where he was at.
Yeah.
Emotionally, like almost all the way through the movie. And then Nega Scott, like that's one of my favorite. Yeah,
it's like you expect it to be some big thing, and they come out like, no, he's actually a really great guy. We're gonna get coffee next week.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, they go and then they make the pastries. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. And then he just, all right, man, see you later, bye. And then he just walks up and they're like, what was that all about? No, he's actually really a great guy. Like, that part had me rolling in the theater, because like, you've watched a movie that was fighting the entire time, and then they pulled out the Akuma moment from Street Fighter, and then they're you're a really cool guy.
So I think what my favorite scene is, and it's very, very brief, is they're at the party, and he's talking to that one guy, and he holds up a picture of a Scribbles, and he's like, do you know a girl with his hair? And he's like, oh yeah, it's Ramona. And it's just the random ass picture that he drew that's kind of like a bottom circle and then like scribbles for hair. And he's like, yeah, I know exactly what it is.
I think the scribbles were done in her hair color at that point.
No, it was black and white.
Oh,
it was just a marker. And it's just kind of, they had the circle for the bottom of the face and then just kind of like for the hair.
Yeah.
And Mike, and it was good. That joke makes me laugh just because it's such a bad picture. And the guy's like, yeah, absolutely, that's Ramona.
Okay. Well, that was also the guy that like knew everything too.
Yeah.
That was a good part. I think my favorite part in the entire movie is the bassist. Yeah. That's or the Brandon Roth character. Like, that whole part was like she's like, I know, and he's like, you know? And then it dawns on him that's one of the evil exes, because he's like giving him, he's like basically mean mugging him the entire time he's playing the bass, and he's like, oh no. Like, I loved the bass battle. I thought that part was fantastic. And then like the whole vegan powers thing, like Brandon Routh's a treasure.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says. The man is like, he's awesome.
that's also when he punches the highlights out of Knives' hair, and he's like, yeah, I punched a girl.
Her hair. He punched the highlights out of her hair. Yeah, that whole part, the whole movie is just, it's grand from beginning to end. And I agree with you. Like, the supporting cast, like, I don't know why I love her so much, but the girl who that played Kim, I fucking love Kim. I think she's awesome.
I think what sells it is that, like, she never blinks.
Yeah, and how basically
just she's pissed off the entire time.
Yeah, she's over everything the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just everyone is uniquely perfect in this movie.
Yeah, and I like I've said, I think the sticking point I've heard for a lot of people who are not wanting to see this movie is Michael Cera, and I think that the cast around him is good enough that you can get over your Michael Cera hate to watch this movie, and kind of get the point that, like, man, his character's shitty. I mean, that's kind of the point. He's heartbroken, and this is supposed to be about him becoming a better person, learning that, like, oh, I am being a shitty person.
Well, it's just very, very unthoughtful of other people's needs.
Yeah,
and it was neat watching his evolution into a better person, because like it doesn't happen till the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's like he even, like, when he goes to like fight for Ramona, he thinks he's doing it because he loves her, and it's not until he loses that he's like, no, actually, I want to do this for me, and it's about my healing, not about getting the girl or whatever. That he ends up actually being a better person at that point in time.
Scott learns the power of self-respect. Like that whole thing was great. You want to fight me for her? I said that, but that's what I said, right? Y'all all heard that. Like that whole scene was great. Schwartzman was awesome in that movie as well. Everyone was great in that movie. I can't if I sat and actually tried to think of like what was terrible about the movie, but one of my other favorite parts of the movie was Scott coming home, turning on the apartment light. Ah! Okay, so you've probably seen some guy's dong. Like, I thought that part was great. I thought Wallace was awesome. But yeah, I 150% agree with you, Amber. Watch the movie because the rest of the cast is good. You don't have to focus on Michael Cera, but honestly, if you just let yourself go, you watch the movie, even if you don't like Michael Cera, eventually he'll grow on you, because he's not just Michael Cera in the movie to me. Like he emotes. He actually, like, he has, like, because I think that's they judge a lot about what he does from his character in
Arrested
Development, and I think his character is very milquetoast and bland in that show.
That's the point of him.
Okay.
I mean, he was kind of like in this family of like crazy people. He was like the kind of normal one, except for the fact that he was kind of into his cousin.
But I mean, she's cute. Is it maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know what that actress is, but I think when it comes to girls with freckles, she's adorable. I'm still stuck on Edgar Wright's page. But yeah, I think she's adorable too. And she hasn't done like a whole lot lately.
I've seen another thing with her that was kind of awful, but that's not worth going into.
Yeah, no. We'll talk about it when we do that. Maybe.
No.
Anyways.
So, is there anything else we want to throw out about this particular movie?
Other than it's a delight. It's fantastic. It's one of the contenders for best movies of all time.
In your book, at least. Which is all that matters.
That is true. It's so good. The comic's good too. Like, if you get a chance, go back and read the manga. I think most of it's online. You can download it. How about you? You got anything else you want to add about the movie?
Not about the movie, I don't think. I think we can start wrapping this one up.
Okay. Well,
so I say in the comments below, I guess, give us some of your like guilty pleasure, or not even guilty pleasure, just like movies that are feel good movies for you. Like, it's a bad day. This movie just makes you feel better.
Please do.
Let us know. And also, if you could do me a favor and in the comments wish this guy happy birthday.
It's my birthday. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not really my birthday yet. It's later on. But by the time this video comes out, it will be. If
this is any indication of when we film it, you can see that they're all cracking at this point in time.
We still have the fingernail polish from the Bram Stoker's Dracula video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like every single person at work this week, when they saw it, they're like, "Oh my god, what happened to your finger?" I was like, "I painted it." They're like, "Oh, okay." But like one of my coworkers, when they saw it, they were like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "The nail fell off. I crushed it." And he was like, "Oh no, it's so red." I was like, "Yeah, it's nail polish, dude." Yeah. Thank you for watching. One idiot and one awesome guy ramble about dumb shit.
Don't call me an idiot.
I was trying to give you a compliment, but if that's where you want to take it, stay tuned for more of our dumb shit.
Yep.
And
join us on Monday for whatever comes next.
Yeah.
Because I know what day this is coming out, but I don't know what day of the week it's coming out.
I think it's on a Saturday this year.
I mean,
or is it on a Sunday?
That's a question that can be answered real quick.
Yeah.
But that requires me pulling up my phone. It's going to be Wednesday. So stay tuned on Monday for, I think it's going to be, Have You Seen Whiteout?
Oh, shit. That's right. Okay.
So, come join us on Monday and watch us talk about a movie you've never seen before.
We are literally telling you about it right now. So when you go and watch it, I think we're just going to steamroll past the part where we're like, hey.
No, I'll still mention, but because we'll still keep to the formula and then just be like, and now here's the spoilers. Because you're not going to watch Whiteout if you haven't already. They've had like a month at this point, almost. They've had almost a month, minus 3 days.
This movie better be good, man. I mean, I can't understand how you would make an hour and a half to 2 hours on like just basically correcting mistakes on paper. I don't get it.
I mean, it's just kind of, I think the thing that's really interesting is that when the person comes in with like that little whiteout strip rather than the paint,
it changes the game.
And you can write over it immediately. Like, you don't have to wait for it to dry anymore.
It straight up changes the game.
It does. Like, mistakes will never be the same.
Do I have to watch it now that I know that it's just about whiteout and whiteout strips?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. All right.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.